So I'm going to talk to you about Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love and their relationship. Yeah, enjoy. So these two, when they met, they were very playful with each other. It was like they were two children without supervision, basically. Very playful, very fun-loving, very let's do whatever we want and just have fun. It's a very free relationship. It's a very non-relationship relationship. It's something like they're just being together, they're just having fun together, they're just loving life together. But the thing is, this kind of relationship isn't just fun and playfulness, and this is something that is starting to show fairly quickly, I believe. So this is turning into something more grown up, and even the sex is connected with play, and this is when it starts to become a bond between them. Kurt Cobain comes in with this "fuck the world, I'm so" in a very dark way. Courtney supports him on an emotional level. It's like he's on the surface, he's like "fuck the world, I don't care, I do what I want," but underneath that it's a lot of lacking of love and darkness in him. And she meets him in this dark, dreary place and sees this and gives him emotional support. And in this darkness, in this dreary, deep place, he meets her. And she is way more fragile than him. She's much more tender than he is. And he's more dark and heavy. And she feels this in him. And this fragile tenderness is very attractive to Kurt. That's feminine qualities that he likes. But she's also very strong in this depth. She's maybe even stronger than him. So these two energies meet, and they are having a blast. They are playful with each other, they're throwing water at each other, they're having crazy hot sex together, they're playful. When this playfulness is starting to die out, they start to talk to each other. So she's starting to opening up to him, and he's listening, and she shows him this wound that she has, and she's like, I don't know if I can heal this wound. And he sees this ocean of emotion just pouring out of her, and he's like, whoa, she's so deep, there's so much going on down there. And he thought that he was deep, he thought that he was, but he's like this puddle against the ocean almost. And in this depth, he finds her tender, fragile self. So he treats her like this Asian expensive vase. It's like he has to be so careful with her because she's so tender and fragile in his eyes. And this behavior that he has to and wants to show her brings up a lot of strong feelings towards her. So yeah, there's a lot of sadness going on in her, and she has this wound, and she doesn't really know how to fix this wound. He sort of wants to fix it with sex, but he quickly realizes that it's more than that. It's not just physical. It's something that the closer they get together, the more she starts to show him. He starts to feel more and more for this person. It's almost like he starts to cry blood. It's almost like he feels so deeply for this woman that he realizes that he loves her. There's no other explanation, but he loves her. He's aware of how deeply and how strong he feels for her. And it's almost like energy speaking. It's almost like a father and his daughter, meaning the father being this strong male force, taking care of something so fragile, so precious to him. It's like he's holding her so ever so gently, because he doesn't want to hurt this tender, fragile, little precious gem he has. So the closer they get, the more she starts to show him. She starts to opening up, and she is very sweet and very tender and very feminine to him. And he wants to respect this by not just running into that area with force, but actually be very respectful and tender towards her. A part of him starts to feel like he's getting uncomfortable with all these feelings and all these things bubbling up in him, so he kind of wants to make it into something that it's not, something more inappropriate and easy. But he knows he knows that this is strong, this is a lot, this is real. So this wound is so, he sees this open wound that she's showing him, and he thinks it's so painfully beautiful. He thinks it hurts him to see this wound, and at the same time he feels like, oh my god, I can fix this. I know I can fix her wound. And this notion, this thought, is scaring the living bejesus out of Kurt, because he's like, I'm just gonna run this way because this is too much, this is too strong, this is too much. It's almost like this child that has been playing with a bucket full of water and had never ever seen the ocean, and suddenly the first time sees this gigantic ocean of water and compares it to this bucket, and it's like, it's so much, it's so huge and gigantic, so it's hard to even understand. So it's way more than Kurt anticipated this to be. It's actually huge, and this gigantic proportion, it is at the same time, it's so crazy beautiful in his eyes. She's way more beautiful than he had anticipated. He starts to realize that he's holding onto a gem, the most beautiful gem he has ever seen. It's like she's just pouring out her feelings, and he can't stop to just look at her and be amazed by her beauty and her fragile, open self. How the tiny drops of water in her eyes reflects the light. It's like he sees the beauty in her that he has not yet been aware of. And he noticed how beautiful she is. And she's like this diamond that does not know that she's a diamond. She's like, no, I'm coal. And he's like, no, you're a diamond. Yeah, so okay, so I'm holding on to a diamond. So he thought that he was going into this toy store, and it wasn't really a toy store. It was more like, underneath this toy store, it was a whole another world. It's like she has royal blood. It's not a toy anymore. So she brings out the royal in him, and this royalness and this makes him more proper, makes him more wants to fix himself, wants to be enough for her. He starts to shape up with her, and this is because he does not love her. He loves her. He burns for her. He can give his life for her. It's like she is the female part of him, and it's like they were split at birth. And when she looks at him, he feels like, yeah, I can die for this woman. And this love starts to just eat up everything in his life. It's so big and huge, and it's taking over his life. It becomes more important than anything he ever. And she feels the same. It's till death do us part. It's bleeding, giving their organs to each other. It's no one exists but you. And this scares them both. And both are starting to get scared because now they are closer and closer. And this is a scary bond. It's so strong, and it's like they're going towards death with each other, because it's like they give each other exactly what the other is needing. So he's fixing her wound and she's fixing his. So they start to heal each other, and it's suddenly like she's holding on to him so tight, and it's like, we're doing this. And he wants to hide his teary red eyes because he has this image of being this tough, cool, together rock star, but underneath he feels like so much for her. There are oceans of emotions for her underneath this tough image, and he does not want to show anyone how he feels about her. And when they're getting closer and closer, they both starts to pull away because it's so strong. Till death with you, until they die, no one else. It's like she got the opportunity to be the queen because, lo and behold, he was the king. And it's like, I'm the king. And she's like, yeah, you're the king, that king. And they both start to feel like they both had that feeling that they were getting into something physically fun, easygoing, very non-attachable, very easy breezy relationship. But it's starting to show that this is till death do us part. This is, I can't leave you. I love you so much. I'm tearing up my heart to you. I'm giving you all. I can't. You are the other part of me. So this forever is waiting for them, and they're realizing that there is no out from this. It's so perfect that no one can ever get to be or have what they have together. So they both start to know they don't want to get into that kingdom, so they both start to pull away. And no, not ready for that. No, not ready for forever. It was just a fun game, wasn't it? It's just easy. This was just easy, not forever, but forever, and the kingdom, and the till death do us part, to death do us part, not just until I get bored, but death. Because in this kingdom there are no divorces. You can't divorce this person. If you divorce this person, you will die. So when you enter this is forever. This is a bond that can't be broken. And if you break it, you will die. And he can't do it. And she wants to run away, and she's like holding him so hard in his hand, and it's like, okay, I think I want to do this. I think I'm ready. I think I want to do this. I think I'm ready for the nice lipstick and pretty things and glamour.